Welcome to the 901. I'm Tyler Stegall.
I'm Tiffany Collins.
And we're your hosts. Today we're here at the MLK Reflection Park in downtown Memphis, just south of Beale Street.
This park actually has never before seen photos taken by civil rights photographer Ernest Withers.
Yeah, and I heard the minds behind this place wanted to make it a space where Dr. King and all of his work could be viewed from a fresh perspective.
They did, and as a matter of fact, let's show the people at home what happened at the unveiling ceremony.
Today, the city of Memphis is paying homage to the dreamer, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as we officially open the Dr. MLK Reflection Park. And to welcome you to this event is the city's Chief Operating Officer, Doug McGowan.
Thank you, Concha. And welcome, everybody. Aren't we privileged to have Concha with us? She's so great. Thank you. Round of applause for Concha. I have to agree with her. What a glorious conclusion to a glorious week in Memphis, Tennessee. If you weren't inspired by this week, I'm not sure what inspires you, because it has been absolutely fantastic. As we begin today's program, I'd like to remind everybody about what a special place this is. The ground beneath us is truly hallowed ground, not only in Memphis and in America, but in the world. It is the physical nexus of African American culture, civil rights advocacy, entrepreneurship, and musical innovation. This place, in the area immediately around it is the place from which comes the rich heritage of Memphians that not only changed our city and our nation, but changed the world. This place is part of a larger trail of iconic places around our city where you can trace the change that happened in the world right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Places like the National Civil Rights Museum, Universal Life, Beale Street, Robert Church Park, the Withers Collection and Museum, Claiborne Temple, the Cornelia Crenshaw Library. And now, 50 years after the events of 1968, we add two more iconic locations to that trail. I Am a Man Plaza, dedicated yesterday and now today, the Martin Luther King Jr. Reflection Park. I'd be remiss if I didn't, yes, please, yes. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the work that has been done quietly over the last few years by the Division of Housing and Community Development in the city of Memphis, who unified all of these iconic places into something that we call the Memphis Heritage Trail. And if you've been around downtown, you've seen some new signage. You may have seen some new icons pop up on your phone. All of that is the Memphis Heritage Trail. And I encourage everybody here, if you haven't, to get out and experience it for yourself. But today is all about this special park and this special place. And just like most endeavors, it wouldn't be possible without leadership or without partners who embrace the vision. Certainly our mayor and our chairman of our city council immediately understood the import of this time and this date, but also our presenting sponsor, FedEx. When we presented this idea to them, they immediately grasped the import and made an incredibly generous gift that made this place possible. And they were joined by leaders from Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare, from the First Tennessee Foundation, from Tennessee Valley Authority, from Mayor Luttrell and the government of Shelby County, as well as Nike, in helping us to bring this park to life.
This is another significant day for Memphis. It's a way that we can better educate generations to come about the history of Memphis. This week, as we all know, as a community and as a nation, we remembered the life and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. We reflected on his life, his teachings, the progress that's been made, and the progress that we will make. Yesterday, we unveiled I Am a Man Plaza. We did that to celebrate and honor remarkable men, the 1968 sanitation workers. Are any of them here today? Thank you. We wanted to honor and celebrate what you stood for and how you changed the world with a stand for simple human dignity. Today, we unveil MLK Reflection Park. The goal is simple: to be able to come to this park to learn about Dr. King and why he came here to Memphis, and to reflect on the progress we've made and be inspired and challenged to fulfill his vision of what America should be. As Doug said, this place is significant. 2 blocks to the east stands Claiborne Temple, where the sanitation workers gathered during the strike. 3 blocks south stands the Lorraine Motel, which obviously needs no introduction. And a block north is Bill Street, an important place in the history of African American culture and of Memphis as a whole. We wouldn't be here today without a great team, and I want to recognize a few of those. Patrice Thomas. Where is Patrice? She is our Deputy Chief Operating Officer, works with Doug, makes Doug look good, makes me look good, because she gets things done. And I want to thank her and her entire team. As mayor of Memphis, I wake up every day thankful for FedEx, for all they do, for the 30,000 employees in our area. So today I want to thank you again for being the lead sponsor of this park. Thank you, FedEx. As Doug mentioned, we've gotten other gifts. Nike. Is anyone representing Nike here? All right, go out and buy a pair of shoes this weekend. TVA. TVA. Thank you, TVA. First Tennessee and its foundation. Thank you. Mayor Luttrell, thank you for your donation from Shelby County government. And to MLG&W for donating the land where the park is. And certainly to all the artists and workers who will be better explained later, who made this a beautiful place. I want to also note a couple other folks, a few groups. The Mallory Knights. They were a civic and charitable organization. They were really known for food baskets for the poor. They supported the sanitation workers back in 1968, and they commissioned a work of art called I've Been to the Mountaintop that has been moved to this park, and we thank them for getting that done. Is anyone with the Mallory Knights here? Well, thank them. And 2 people, yeah, we give them a round of applause. And I want to make special note of 2 special people who work with the Mallory Knights. Elaine Turner. Is Elaine here? Please stand up. Please stand up. For those you don't know, she was close to the leaders of the Mallory Knights, and she has been instrumental, maybe the real source in keeping their legacy alive. So thank you very much, Elaine. And then an old friend of mine, Jocelyn Worsberg. Please stand up, Jossie. Jossie was the main driving force in securing the funding for that monument and selecting the artist to design that statue. So thank you, Jossie, for that and all the other things you've done. Like I said yesterday at the I'm a Man Plaza dedication, as we move forward from this day, I hope that this space can be where Memphians come to reflect on the history that took place in this area. but we should never, ever forget the challenge that Dr. King left us. May we make strides every single day to get to that promised land that he wanted us to be there. Thank you very much.
I'm honored to be here on behalf of the 425,000 FedEx team members around the globe to salute the courage and sacrifices of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the Memphis sanitation workers, and all who are champions of the civil rights movement. There's an old saying that says charity begins at home. And as a global company headquartered here in this wonderful city of Memphis, Tennessee, we understand that what we do in our hometown here in Memphis makes an impact across our city, our nation, and the world. And as a neighbor of choice, we are committed to giving back to communities through educational initiatives, employment pathways, entrepreneur programs, and supplier diversity. In supporting the MLK Reflection Park, we know that this design represents much more than a great work of art. It's a reflection of who we are and who we can be. In Michael Jackson's song, Man in a Mirror, he says, if you want to make this world a better place, look at yourself and then make that change.
It's really an honor anytime you can get up and say any words as it pertains to Dr. Martin Luther King, his legacy and his life. And so sitting here, I was inspired to really change things up. And I just really wanted to know the real definition of the word reflection. And it really means serious thought or consideration. So whenever you have the opportunity to go to the MLK reflection site, just remember two words: serious thought. Let us use this reflection site as a place where dreams can become realities, desperations can become hope, and isolations can become inspiration. Allow this reflection site to not only inspire us, but inspire the entire world. And if you just want to know personally, once you're sitting at that reflection site, what can you do? I will use the words that I used by Dr. King yesterday. He says, be a bush if you can't be a tree. He says, if you can't be a highway, just be a trail. He said, if you can't be a sun, just be a star. For it isn't the size that you win or you lose. Just be the best of whatever you are. So please, it's my honor to be here. It's my honor to take part in this dedication service. And just to think about the sacrifices that Dr. King's made, I'm standing on the civil rights leaders' shoulders. I'm standing on the sanitation workers' shoulders. Thank you guys for your sacrifices. Every day I think about the sacrifices that you guys made, and I will cherish that reflection part to think of how I can make not only the city of Memphis a better place to live, but make a contribution to make this world a better place to live. May God continue to bless you. Thank you.
I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. This is indeed an honor. It's an honor because it gives the Withers Trust, as well as the Withers Collection Museum and Gallery, an opportunity to share the works of Dr. Withers. We've been working feverishly since 2011 when we opened our doors to digitize and to archive his work. In September, we began a digitalization process, and we digitized 12,000 of the civil rights images of 1.8 million images. We've been very blessed to have a sponsor who happens to love photography. His name is John Logan. You may have read our story in the Memphis Flyer, and it talks about how we came about. It's a cute story, but I won't use my time up telling that because you can read it. But what is important is that we teamed with Patricia to go into the archives and begin to unveil these images. This incredible team from the city and I spent hours in our archive going back and forth, choosing, selecting, eliminating. But more than anything is that it not only is going to be something beautiful for Memphis, but what it has done is that it has educated our youth. The hands that help us find this is our youth, is our young ones that have come through the doors of the Withers Collection to learn this history. And they are very proud to share this with you today because they take a personal interest in unveiling it. So can I take a minute and ask my team to stand up so that everyone can know who you are in digging through the archives of Ernest Withers.
Well, a major focal point for the park is the Mountaintop Monument. It was originally created in 1977, and I believe this will be its final resting place. And today we are honored to have the artist of this great piece of art here in Memphis with us today, Mr. Richard Hunt, in from Chicago. And following Mr. Hunt will be the man whose vision created the landscape for the park, Mr. John Jackson with JPA Incorporated. Please help me welcome Mr. Hunt.
Thank you very much for having me down from Chicago. It's a privilege and honor. First of all, it was in 1978 to be chosen to create something that would honor Martin Luther King, which went in Mid-America Mall, in the center of the mall. Interestingly, about a work of art that sort of had in its inception a certain place to be, there was a way of sort of developing a context. There was this sculpture, I've been to the mountain top, obviously inspired by Martin Luther King's last speech. And I decided to kind of make a sculptured mountain of it. And then there were other elements of it that were sort of architectural. As a matter of fact, they derived from some forms of African architecture that can be seen in various places in West Africa that are largely like adobe kinds of forms. But anyway, this ramp would allow one to walk up and have this long view down Mid-America Mall toward Beale Street. Later on, of course, as the city was looking at alternatives, growth, tourism and all like that, decided to make a trolley run from Beale Street to the embarkation for Mud Island. So the piece was moved to the front of the Federal Reserve. So here in the fullness of time, it has gained enough interest to be moved to this new reflection park, which I think reflects very well on the adaptive reuse of a particular sculpture. And at a particular time, celebrating this 50th anniversary, and all the things that have been said before me about how meaningful this context can and will become, or has become actually. It's wonderful for me to be here to share with you this unveiling and to reflect on the legacy here, the way it's being embraced, and of course around the world.
The Memphis road to success is always under construction. Think about that a minute. Two major projects in this city, I Am a Man Plaza and Dr. Martin Luther King Reflection Park, are two monumental projects that says to Memphis, to America, and to the world, we are on that road and we are paving it as we go. I would be remiss if I didn't say to City of Memphis, say to all of the sponsors and contributors to this project. We all did a great job. 56 days from ground to construction is what was done. I want to say to Victor Hall Construction, if you guys will please stand, Thomas Sheemanek, the man that pulled that off, and his superintendent, James Patterson. Please give them a round of applause. 56 days. They said it couldn't be done. Thank you. I'll be brief. I consider 4 things to be the key in building: fire, water, gravel, and vinyl. Let me break that down for you in construction terms and layman terms. Gravel, the foundation that you want to build upon of strength. It shows strength, and it is a good foundation to build on. Water, it is the mixture that stirs things up. It's the spirit that makes things happen. Vinyl, although a man-made material, is soft and has a visual impact in the landscape. But the one that all of us possessed to pull this off was fire. Fire is the heat and fusion that makes metal bend and makes things strong. It is also the fire in this team that I announced to you that got this project done. I want to say on a personal note that we have worked on a lot of projects regarding Dr. Martin Luther King all over this country. But nothing makes me prouder today than to stand in front of you and be the lead design firm on this project in my hometown.
I appreciate and just am so grateful to be here on this occasion at the dedication of the Martin Luther King Jr. Reflection Park. I'd like to thank our sponsors once again: FedEx, TVA, First Tennessee, Methodist Hospital, of course, Shelby County Government, and Nike. Please give them a round of applause. Of course, the central theme of our Memphis commemoration has been, where do we go from here? It's quite a fitting question as the city of Memphis prepares to celebrate its bicentennial in May of 2019. That's right, we're about to be 200 years old. How we build the type of city we want to see in the next 200 years begins right now. Today, the city of Memphis is partnering with Volunteer Odyssey for what we are calling Year to Volunteer. The goal is to get Memphians to volunteer 85,000 hours of volunteer service, which has an economic impact of $2 million. Through Volunteer Odyssey, you can get connected to at least 200 volunteer opportunities every single month here in the greater Memphis area. The founder of Volunteer Odyssey, Dr. Sarah Pechnick, is here to tell you how to sign up for Year to Volunteer. Sarah?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Sarah Pechnick with Volunteer Odyssey, and we are so proud to partner with the city of Memphis as we honor Dr. King with this Year to Volunteer. Imagine if every family had food, if every veteran had shelter, if every child had a mentor. That's what we can accomplish if everyone gets involved. So where do we go from here? That really is up to you. So let's have the energy and momentum of this week carry us into the city's bicentennial celebration, and we need all of you to be involved in this Year to Volunteer. So if you would like to sign up, please go to yeartovolunteer.org, or please visit us at the table in the lobby, and we would love to help you get started. And thank you for everyone who made this possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And Sarah, where's that table to sign up at?
Right in the lobby, right?
So right back there toward the front doors. I will part with this. Dr. King once said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" Let's continue to commemorate and live out Dr. King's challenge to serve others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ursula and Sarah. This has been a wonderful program. We have one more item before we get to the ribbon cutting. But first, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out here today. Make sure to stop by the Memphis Heritage Trail table and the Volunteer Odyssey table to learn more about the programs. Again, thank you to the sponsors, FedEx, First Tennessee Foundation, Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare, Tennessee Valley Authority, Shelby County Government, Nike, and now to add a special touch to the close of MLK 50 commemoration with the unveiling of MLK Mine Eyes Have Seen by artist Lonnie Robinson. Mr. Robinson was also our graphic artist for both the City and National Civil Rights Museum MLK 50 branding. Lonnie, please come and tell us about your inspiration.
Good afternoon. I want to first say I'm very proud to be here. Very proud of the work that. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm very proud to be here. Anything related to Dr. King, I can say that I want to be a part of. I've drawn Dr. King since I was 5, at least 15 times. The last painting I did of him hung in the Civil Rights Museum for about 15, 16 years. It was the official portrait that you saw when you went up the stairwell to the room where he stayed. That was, for years, the proudest accomplishment I had as an artist, my personal feeling about it. Today, having branded MLK 50th as a graphic designer, I don't think I'll ever do anything more significant. As a designer and an artist, to create a new piece of King, I wanted to focus on what he would be seeing, which is why I titled the painting, Mine Eyes Have Seen. If you look close in the pupils, you'll see where he's looking. The look on his face is pensive because, well, I don't need to tell you, but it's a proud work for what I feel is our greatest American, who did so much to get us to look at our souls and realize that we really have to move forward together.
You know, this whole MLK 50 experience has really been inspiring.
Yes, it has been. I had no idea when speaking with Richard Hunt that I have been to the mountaintop sculpture that has set at Poplar in Maine. It's 41 years old.
Wow, and I guess this completes our historic journey of the MLK 50 experience.
Join us next time as we continue to bring you what's unique, different, and special
about the 901.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, the river, I've been running.